We have an extremely important message to convey to homeowners who have citrus trees. And if you do this as a hobby, perhaps you have small acreage, an acre or two, and you got some citrus trees on there, folks, you need to wake up. We have a very serious situation with a disease that is quite disarming, quite frankly. And Tim pinned it off air. It's called greening. You think green. It
sounds good.
It evokes
sounds
life.
Helpful.
It's greening is the worst thing that could happen to citrus. There's no cure for it. It is deadly. And I've been saying, imagine a world without sweet valley citrus, the most sweet in the world. And
you
awesome.
can ask Florida about that.
Yeah.
Because it wiped out a whole lot of their orchards some time back.
We all need to do our part to contain this. And joining us on 710 KURV from Texas A&M AgriLife, right? And she's a citrus greening coordinator. She's an expert. Heidi Artiaga, it's a pleasure. Welcome to the show, my friend. Come on up to the microphone.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
So what are we looking for, Heidi, in our citrus trees? Because I understand it takes a while for any evidence to show up in the leaves or in the fruit.
Yes. Citrus greening is a plant bacterial disease that kills citrus. Now, once the tree is infected, it can take up to 2 years to start showing symptoms.
And there's no way to save the tree, to chop off a limb and keep going with it?
No. Once a tree is infected,
the whole thing
has to die. Yes, we have to cut off the tree.
How about adjacent trees? Might they also be infected?
For that, we need to do a lab test.
Okay.
But we don't know for sure.
We have a quarantine that's taking place in the valley right now. We've been under quarantine for quite some time now, several months, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was quarantine. Citrus greening was found in San Juan, Texas, in January 2012.
Okay.
And that's when they established the quarantine area.
What does that mean for folks that are in the San Juan area that have citrus trees? What does it mean to them and to the rest of us?
Okay. A quarantine area is primarily for the citrus industry.
Okay.
But if you live in a quarantine area, you cannot move any citrus plant material outside the quarantine area.
No fruit as a gift, no little branch, a seedling as a gift to la tia or la abuela, nothing like that. You do not move anything out of San Juan that is citrus related.
No, what we want to prevent is the psyllid from moving, the insect from moving out of that quarantine area.
Yeah.
Now, we have 2 quarantine areas now. The citrus greening was found last month in the Mission area.
Oh, that's not good news.
No, so there's another quarantine area in the Mission area.
They found greening in Mission now. Okay, we're making
Whereabouts is that orchard? Can you pinpoint it?
No, we can't. It's just in the Mission area.
Okay, but that means that from that center point, which is Mission, there's a certain radius.
A 5-mile radius.
Well, that's pretty much all of Mission then. That is pretty much the entire
That's the way it was in San Juan, though, too, right?
Yes.
You extended to like a several-mile area. What? How did this happen? And I know from the experience Florida had that it spread quickly because they weren't quite sure at that time, exactly what they were dealing with, or they weren't prepared to deal with it. Once that happened in Florida, a lot of measures were taken here to prevent this from at least getting here. But now that it's here, how did it get from San Juan to Mission with the quarantines in place? How does that happen?
We don't know. We really don't know. Everybody's working on fighting this disease. There's a lot of agencies involved. We have the Texas Department of Agriculture, the Citrus Center in Weslaco, Texas A&M Citrus Center.
Okay.
Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. We also have Texas Citrus Mutual and the United States Department of Agriculture.
What can we do? Homeowners who have citrus trees in our backyard or small acres, because this message is for homeowners, because you need to be a part of this, because you're constantly gifting the fruit from your backyard or little branches as new seedlings for your trees. You got to stop that, and we got to stop that now across the Rio Grande Valley. What else can we do? If we call authorities or go to the website, how can you help us to contain this within the trees? What do you do? What setup do you provide?
First of all, what we can do is inspect our trees. We want to inspect our trees to see if we find the Asian citrus psyllid, the insect that carries the disease.
Okay.
What are symptoms? What do you look for?
Well, if you look for the insect, this is a very small insect, and it's tiny.
It's hard to see.
No
now.
bigger than a gnat.
Really
It's
small.
a brown insect. Once it's an adult, it's a dark brown insect, and it always sits at a 45-degree angle when it's feeding off the tree. Now, this insect only likes the new flush. The new flush, it's tender, so they like it because they feed off of it,
Okay.
or they will lay their eggs there.
And there's a containment program that you folks are initiating in South Texas. If folks want to participate in this containment program where you can kill the psyllid or just go in there and warp its progeny, who do they call? What number do they call, or how do they contact you?
Okay, now for now we have a webpage.
Okay.
It's www.citrusalert.com,
Easy to remember.
and you can submit your inquiries into that webpage.
Citrusalert. Is it .com?
Yes,
What is it?
.com.
Citrusalert.com. Citrusalert.com. I urge you to go to the website as quickly as possible if you have citrus trees and get the information right now. Thank you, Heidi. We'll bring you back to the show, and hopefully you and I can talk on Saturday morning as well. That's Heidi Artiaga with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. She's a citrus greening coordinator and expert on 710 KURV.